So now that we've found our reactions, we're going to start finding member forces. And so I'm going to start where I know the most, and that's up here at joint 5. So I'll redraw joint 5 over here, 20 down, 5 to the left. I'm going to guess the force in member 5-6 is going to the right, and I'm going to educatedly guess saying the force in member 5-8 is going up. And I'm going to redraw this triangle over here. This was 9, and this height here was 7.5. Well, I hate decimals, so I'm going to double everything. I'm going to make this 18 horizontally and 15 vertically. That also means that my x component of force will be F58 times 18 over the square root of 549. And my y component will be F58 times 15 over the square root of 549. And I'm going to turn around and turn these into, we'll call this alpha A in my calculator, and alpha B, so that I can not have to write them down every time. So now we'll set up our systems of equations. Sum of forces in the y equals 0. And I know this is 20 going down, so we have negative 20 plus F58, but only the y portion, so that's B, equals 0. And I can solve this pretty easily. F58 is equal to 20 over what I have saved as B, which equals 31.24. Now, we will take a look at the sum of forces in the x. Equals 0. So we have negative 5 to the left, plus this F5-6 I've drawn to the right, plus the F58 we just found, times the horizontal component, 18 over square root of 549, which is A, equals 0. And I have everything I want here. F56, moving the 5 to the other side as positive, and the minus F58 times A, keeping in mind that I have the number for that. And that can be solved. And when I solve it, F56, not F58, but F56 is equal to negative 19, and I'm really glad I got a negative number, because that means this assumed direction to the right is wrong, and it's really into joint. That's what that means. Into joint is what that negative told me. But I got a positive 31.25, so that means that's correct, and that is away from joint. And so now I'm going to update my picture with what I know. This is 19, and it was into joint, so it'll be into that joint, and also into that joint if I need it. And then this other one was 31.24, and it was away from joint. We'll do that one in blue. We'll zoom in a little bit. This blue is away, away, and that was 31.24. And now I can go to this joint 8 because I know 58 and I know 56, so that will leave 89 and 86 as question marks. So that's where I'm going to go next, joint 8. And I'm going to redraw joint 8 just so that I make sure I've got everything. So we've got joint 8 right here. Away from the joint is that 31.24. I'm going to guess then that F89 is also away from that joint at that same angle. And then we've got this 86. I'm going to guess 86 away too. It's just a guess. And again, keep in mind this was all the same triangle. 15 and 18, whether we had it like that or when we look at it like this, it's also 15 and 18. So all of my x's will still be the same alpha A and B I had before. So now I can write the system that goes here. Negative 31.24, we'll do sum of forces in the x first. So the x component was A and the y component was B. So I'll use those again. F of x is A, B is y. So this is going to be the A. And now we're going to have plus F89 times that same A plus F86 times that same A equals 0. And now we'll do the sum of forces in the y equals 0. Going down, we've got down and left. So negative 31.24. This time we're multiplying times B. Plus this time F89 times B minus F86 times B equals 0. Because all of these vertical components are all B's this time. Just like the horizontal components were all A. So now I'm going to set this up as a system. So we've got F89 times A plus F86 times A equals whatever this turns out to be. And I'm going to turn that into a number. And so when I multiplied this out, I got negative 24. I added it to the other side, and we're looking at 24. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to turn this into one single number. And it's nice and clean. It's negative 20. So when I add it to the other side, I get 20. And we still have F89B plus minus F86 times B. And here's my system of equations. And everything is solved in my calculator. So now, instead of solving this by elimination, I'm going to use that matrix method that I showed you recently. So we're going to go into second matrix, and we're going to edit this first 2 by 2 matrix. And my coefficients are now A, so I'll say alpha A, alpha A again. And you're like, hey, why is it 0 and 0? It's not really. It's 0 point something. And then our alpha B, we'll put in there as alpha B. It looks like 0, 2, but it's not. It's just got a bunch of, it's got a decimal place. That's alpha B. And then we will set up our answer matrix, this 2 by 1, as 24 by 20. And then what we're going to do, we really have this matrix, which is A, B minus B. And I think I need to check that. I think I forgot the minus sign. Times F89, F86 will equal the answer matrix of 24, 20. And we're going to apply the inverse to both sides, inverse of A to the entire thing. And so this F89, F86 matrix will be equal to A inverse times the matrix, which I make 24, 20. I think I called that matrix C. So let's go back, make sure we had this other matrix with the negative sign. Yep, I missed that. And this has to be negative alpha B. Okay, so now we'll come out second, quit, and we're going to do matrix A, but we're going to take its inverse, and we're going to multiply that by matrix C. Okay, and I think what's happening here is I don't think that those alpha A and B are working properly, because it shouldn't say this. So we're going to go back and check those. Yep, I made an error. I never saved these properly as alpha A. So now when I go alpha A, that's the decimal it should be. Alpha A here. This will be alpha B. And this will be the opposite, so negative alpha B. So now it shows up like it should. And so now I can go back and do matrix A, the inverse of that matrix, times second matrix C was my 2 by 1. And now you can see the forces are 31.24 and 0. So copying these in so we can really look at them properly. The F89 is the top one, 31.24, and the F86 is the 0. So F89 is 31.24. It's positive, so my direction is right, and my F86 is 0. Since there's 0 force, direction doesn't matter. Let's go look and see how I picked it. I picked 89 as away from the joint, so that's what I'll say over here, away, and no force, so there's no direction.